Hello again, thanks for stopping by. My name's Michael and I'm on a mission to rescue, restore and return to full working order a 100-year-old band organ that I accidentally bought in pieces a couple of years ago. Now, a lot of people don't really know what band organs are, so I've decided that to finish with this episode, I shall make a little film on what band organs are and how they work, because that might help people who really don't know much about them understand a bit more about what I'm doing here. It occurred to me that not everybody knows what a pallet valve is or a valve stack, so I'm going to do a little bit of background. Well, today we're going to be continuing to work on the valve stack and the pallet valve board and show you how we managed to get it all to match up, the old and the new. Okay, so let's get started. Well, we're returning to the valve stack and the pallet board. If you recall, we've managed to rescue the valve stack. This is where all the valves go. And we've decided we will rebuild the pallet board because the pallets are really pretty rotten and rough. Now, one thing we have to do when we make the new pallet board is to make sure that all of the holes match up with the holes here. Now, here's a strip of wood I took off when I made a recent one, and that actually matches pretty close. Maybe an eighth over the entire length of this. Something we can work with. Now, on the plans we do have some channel layer templates, and you'll see these are all marked out on the center of the holes, and they pretty much line up well also. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out these templates, glue them together so that I can get a really good match up with these holes, and then we'll use this template to transfer all the lines. Now, the reason we need a template really, rather than just measuring it, is because these spaces are in fact 23/32 of an inch. 23/32. Well, anyone can measure 23/32, but you try taking 46/32 and then 69/32, and it's just a mess. So the templates are the way to go. So bear with me while I just cut these out. When I've got the template cut out and aligned along here, it's pretty close, so I'm going to take them together and transfer some marks onto this board. It'll take me a few minutes, but I'll be with you shortly. Well, now I've transferred all the marks from the template to what will become the pallet board. And now I'm going to continue marking these down and then mark the holes that have to be drilled. So along here, the holes, these holes here, and then along the back side, we'll mark for these holes here. Got something interesting here. If you recognise this, here's one I made earlier. Actually, it's half of one I made earlier. It's one that I messed up and I cut it in half just so people could see what the inside looks like. These holes go up to where they meet the valves. So the valves are in three rows, 1, 2, 3 rows, and they each have vacuum coming in and then being transferred through these holes, through the valves, into these pallets to suck them down and open up the channel in the wind chest. But that just shows you what it's like on the inside. Right, now I'll get on marking these for drilling. Well, there we have it, all marked up according to the plans, double checked against the existing original piece. So now we have a lot of drilling to do. We have to drill halfway through the board here, and that channel will then meet up, the holes we drill through here, all the way down to meet up with these, so that the air will be sucked out of these holes, and then out of these holes, and then these pallets will operate the wind chest. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to spend a bit of time setting up the drill press now, and then we can get on with some holes. Well, that's all the holes drilled halfway through, as far as we can get them with the force of it. You know, we've got in that far, we've still got to go that much more, so I'll just have to find the 3/8 drill bit and we can play with that. A couple of these holes were slightly off, but not much at all really. I don't know if you can see this, but they actually match up quite well. I shall also use this to cut the leather gasket, which is really useful. Alright, let me see if I can find a drill bit. Well, I found a bit. That's 3/8. So now we've got to drill that much in, and as you can see, I've got enough of a shank here to do that. So I'll go and get the drill press set up again. I have to make a gasket that goes between the valve stack and the pallet board. This is my template, cut off a previous pallet stack I've made, and I've got a tub full of leather here, so let's see if we can find something that's suitable for this. There we go, that'll do it. So I've got the piece of leather ready, slightly oversized. There's nothing wrong with it being a little bit wider than it needs to be. We can trim that later. And the ends, that's so that I can pin it to the board. And now I need a couple more pins just to hold this in place on the leather, then we can go through and start the holes. So now we're ready to start punching holes. So there's one other thing to take into consideration. That is where the screws will be going through. This is now split completely. But where the screws go through, we have to punch a little hole, because otherwise the screws will just bunch up with the leather and cause it not to seal correctly. So let's just mark those up, shall we? There we have it, the gasket ready for the bell stack. So I've noticed that in the drawings I've got and the previous valve stack I've made, there were 7 holes for screws to go through into the pallet board. On this original one there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will add the extra couple of screws. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright, so that is all we're doing for the moment. And I'll come back to you when we're ready for the next step. Well, that's all I've got for you today. We've successfully made the pallet board. We have to make the pallets to go on that next. We've successfully made
an accurate leather gasket that will go between these holes and these holes. And in the next episode, we will finish these, finish them, stain them, and hopefully I'll have the pallets ready to go on there as well. So hopefully we can get this another step of the way. It's getting quite exciting now. Okay, thanks very much for stopping by. See you next time. Cheers.